Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Tapped In with Verily Biz Solutions. I'm Fran Strickland, the owner and founder of Verily Biz Solutions, and I'm here with the lovely Miss Paula Washington of Paula Washington Enterprises. I'm delighted to have her because she has a tremendous story. Her journey to where she is today is incredible, but what's even more incredible is what she does. Now, Verily Biz Solutions, tapped in with Verily Biz Solutions, is all about helping leaders, founders, CXOs, people who are engaged in so many ventures and trying to make an impact with their lives that we want to help them continue to grow and evolve, not just in their businesses and professions, but personally. So we bring to this platform people who are doing just that, helping people from all walks of life to achieve the best version of themselves. So, Paula, thank you so much for joining me today on my platform. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful today, a little bit raspy, but we're going to be just fine. It is such a pleasure to be on your show today. I'm excited to share about the journey and, just how we, women in business, how we move forward in the world.
So, Paula, you are a business and leadership strategist, a speaker and author, and the creator of the Encore Playbook, and most recently, the Encore Reset Journal. But tell me exactly, who is it that you are seeking to serve, and what are you helping those that you serve to solve?
Well, I work with leaders and I work with women leaders 50 and over who are looking to make those transitional pivots into their next opportunity. Where they are no longer works or they've outgrown it, but they're not kind of sure which way to go. Some people are transitioning out of corporate and want to go into business ownership. Some may want an encore career, and then others are just, recovering from life situations. And with that happening, that you have to have a plan and really kind of understand what it's going to take to really live who you are in the next phase of your life because you've never been there before. So when we talk about encore, we're talking about the best season of your life because you get to do it on your terms. You get to outline it, you exit with intention, you navigate the new, you commit to it, you communicate about it, and you get great authentic connections. And then you're looking at opportunities that will come to you or that you create. And then you have to be relevant. Those ideas have to be relevant to the people you're going to engage with, as well as the plan that you have overall. And then we're looking at E for excellence, your standard of excellence. What are you the go to person for that nobody else can do it? Your trademark. So when we look at all of that wonderfulness in one human being, you can't do anything but win at this stage in your life. And me in my
Mm.
late 60s now, I'm dedicated to helping people improve the quality of their life, run a business, make money, and have fun. And let's do it.
Mhm. You know that what you say is so full of not just hope, it's empowerment. I mean, there's nothing that you said that is pie in the sky. It's realizable. And what it really tells me is that no matter where you are in your life, if you have a vision and the drive, you can realize it.
Hmm.
Now, before we go there and start talking in a little bit more depth in what are you doing with Encore and how you're building it out, I know you have a journey because guess what? I think that most of us, we have had some experience that's triggered us and we realize that we have a calling or a mission to do certain things. So tell us a little bit about your journey to this point.
Well, my journey to this point, I was in corporate for many years doing training and development. Got downsized a couple of times. And then, of course, you're overqualified, you can't get a job. So I had a sense that I really needed to do what I've always been doing, which is helping people and communicating and training and so forth. So I go to the SBA to get a loan, and the Women's Resource Center, the director seemed a little distracted. So I was asking what was going on, and she was like, "We have funding for a program, but we don't have a program, and I have to go into a meeting and present this, and I don't want to lose the funding." I said, "Well, I got a program." So I pulled it out of my briefcase and sat there and redid that outline really quick for them and gave it to her. And I got paid for that day. And that was the first contract I got. So I didn't even have to get a loan because I ended up being the spokesperson for that program coming out of the gate and got to meet some incredible women along the way and really do some impactful things in working with them.
So now, Paula, how long did you work with them? I mean, you
I
just kind
think
of like showed up, and there the opportunity was, and boom.
Yeah, it was really wild. It was the first contract I had. I think I worked with them maybe about 2 years because there were other people they were bringing in. They were expanding the program. So my original context in what I was doing, they were expanding that, growing it out. And I had other contracts and other clients as well. And then as I started to move out into my own business, there were different directions I wanted to go in. And so
Mhm.
it was one of the greatest experiences in my life. It had me evaluate um, why I am who I am, not really knowing it. But when I look back at my lineage and my great grandmother going to college and graduating in 1894, my grandmother went to Juilliard, and my mom and the success she had in banking. And all of these women did things during times that they weren't supposed to, or it shouldn't have
Mhm.
happened. And I'm looking at,
Mhm.
well, I can't sit down now. I was going through, life happenings, divorce and all of that, losing all of this, that, and the other, single parenting, all those things. And so what I realized, my whole life might have been unraveling what people may think, but it was actually unraveling so the best part of me can come forward and do what I was created to do. That old framework, go to college, get married, work 30 years, have children, all of that. That didn't work for our generation, I mean, the baby boomer generation. It worked for the generation previously, but not for us. And
Mhm.
so, after all the titles, you were dealing with your first name and who you really are. And so, I was
Mhm.
always my Melody's mom for so long, which was good because I didn't have a title. And then that helped me develop who I really wanted to be in myself and who
Mhm.
I am and show up
Mhm.
100. So
Mhm.
I had the training and development business, doing consulting and so forth. And then I set up a women's foundation, building wealth for women, girls, and families, having after school programs for young women and teaching them entrepreneurship and so forth.
Mhm. So, first of all, you definitely have a legacy. You've had great role models of women in your family, somewhat like what I had in my family. My grandmother, at 60, got her GED, then went back to school and got a certification, and was a choice between doing geriatric care and infant care, working with new mothers. And she decided that she loved the babies. She loved that space, and she went on to do that for another 15 years, and build her own business. And she came out of South Carolina back in the 30s when she went to
Wow.
New York. So, that kind of legacy, I can appreciate what having that kind of role model in front of you does for your personal drive. Now, one of the things that I also heard you talk about is the fact that you actually had gone through a series, like of many people in the corporate experience of being unemployed and being reemployed and being challenged in the job market. What I'd like to ask you about is, as you transition into running your business, um, what did you find was the biggest challenge for you? And did that influence what you're doing now?
Absolutely. What the biggest challenge was is that I realized I did not want to work for anyone else. I was not made to do it. I could collaborate on a team. I could serve and do those things, but I was called to lead. And I'm a teacher by nature. It doesn't matter in what capacity I'm teaching or communicating. That's just who I am. So in that transition, which was forced, I learned to embrace it and learn the differences. Because when you go from corporate, I was in corporate for 20 years. I was a real structured, rigid, language barriers, all different things are different. And then you go into a business ownership, and there's nobody else there but you. Okay, the phone is you, everything, you're doing everything. Okay, you don't have anybody to call. And so if the phone's not ringing, you're not getting the fax, you're not getting this or that, guess what? You don't want to get out there and do the sales. So that transition was an eye opener, a wake up call that I need to do things. I need to create a commitment statement to myself as to the reason why I'm doing this. Now, yes, entrepreneurship is in the bloodline, but I have to figure out my role in it. And I have to
Mhm.
walk that out and what that looks like. And then what am I going to and who am I going to contribute to? Going back into corporate from a standpoint of a business owner, offering training materials and customized services was excellent because I understood that world. Now, taking that and transitioning it and offering that same training and development into the entrepreneurial world, very different because they don't learn the same way, they don't do things the same way, and their programming and how they empower their employees, or it may just be a solopreneur. So they must may
Mhm.
need coaching or consulting. So their vantage point is very different. And understanding the landscape, understanding the different markets, understanding trends and emerging markets, and all of these things as a business owner, as a CEO, we have to be aware of those things all the time. And we are
Mhm.
responsible for everything.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who didn't do this or that. We're responsible 100%.
Mm, that's true. That's true. So I heard one of the things that you had to get really grounded in was your why,
Yes.
um, and then you also had to realize that you would be wearing many different hats. The whole landscape of the business, which in some cases, if we were fortunate enough, we were in organizations where other people were doing those things for us.
Yes, yes, yes. And appreciated it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's pivot a bit because I really want to make sure that we have a chance to talk about Encore in depth because I also know you have an event coming up as well. But let's talk
Yes, I do.
about Encore. I'm just going to say, just kind of lay out for us what it's about, what's the objective, all of those good things without you giving your cookies away.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I'll give you the chips
Okay.
instead of the whole chocolate chip cookie. All right. One of the
Okay.
things, the reason I created the Encore program, it had been in the back of my mind that I wanted to culminate my life's work, and I wanted to give a lot of it away. And going through, we had several deaths in our family in 1 year, and it caused me to look at my mortality and say, okay, I
Mhm.
know what they left behind. They all left in their 90s. So it was fine. But now here I am in my late 60s. What are we going to do? We're going to get back up again. We're going to do this again. Okay, what's my encore? What's my second act? What's my curtain call? And so I started to put this book together, especially for women, because after caregiving, after taking care of everyone, and then realizing, wait a minute, my tank is empty. And I know I have a lot. I'm not done yet. So I need to get it together for me and see what I really want to do, what makes me happy. And it's not so much about fulfilling a joy or a happiness that you're missing. It's about discovering the best part of you going forward. We know what worked yesterday. We're not taking all of that with us. We're only taking the best parts of us and moving that forward into this new idea. So
Mm.
that's what I do for women and leaders. So we do have the framework ENCORE, because you can't do anything unless you have an exit strategy. In business, you have to have an exit strategy for everything you do. So why aren't you doing that for your life? And why can't
Mm.
you add everything into it? So that Encore framework is a strategic life business plan because it holds everything in it: your business, your career, and your life. And I didn't realize that over the years, the different courses, the training, and all those things that I'd done was creating that thing on its own. So when I started writing the book and telling the stories of all of the clients that I worked with and the different people that I had a chance to be mentored by and all those things, I was actually creating my own encore, and the threads to my tapestry were being written, and I didn't even realize it till that situation happened. And so, encore are bold strategies for women their next chapter, because this is the thing: if you don't redefine it, so life will do it for you, and you won't be happy with the results. If you don't have a
Mm.
strategic life plan, guess what? You're not going to live the life to the fullest. You know, there's a little joke about, oh, they got to heaven, they were wondering why didn't they get all their gifts? The gifts were sitting in the room, but you didn't show up. Okay, so are you going to show up for yourself? Are you going to show up
Yeah.
for yourself, or are you just going to sit in the back seat and be a passioner? Are you going to be an observer all the time, watching everybody on TV live their life to the fullest, and you still sitting there wondering what's going on? Get up. You know, it comes a point in time, and I realize that this at this stage, that you don't have time to whine and moan and groan about what didn't happen and what did happen and all of that. Get it together. You got your health, you have your strength, you get 1,440 minutes a day. You should be able to come up with a strategy and make some money and do something with it and have fun doing it. Can we have fun doing business and making money? Can we do that?
Mm.
Can we have the quality of life we've always wanted? Can we do that? Are you going to have challenges? Always. Are you going to make mistakes? Absolutely. But you have a framework and you have a hope. And one of the things that I realized years ago, I was in the hospital with my dad, and I had to make some decisions of surgery. They were all running around amok, and I said, "Listen, he's not going to die. Get in there and do what you have to do." So I got a tear coming down on one side, and the other side, I'm sitting there typing business plan for a new business, because that's who I am. So we smile through our tears. We keep on going. We're resilient, especially because we bring forth life. So why can't we bring forth that same life for ourselves? Lead like a
Mm.
woman is supposed to lead like you're supposed to lead. What's in you? You got a lot of stuff in you that if you would just stop overthinking and go with it, you could walk it out and see something great.
Mm. Mm. Wow. As you were talking, I was thinking about my parents too. My parents used to tell us, take care of business, cry later.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
take care of business, cry later. So, I learned how to balance the both. Great pain, great anxiety, but you just stay on your path, knowing that there are some things that have to be handled in priority, and that you need to
Right.
be level-headed, even though we know that we may have challenges. Your message as you talk was so inspiring because I just heard so much of you are responsible for your own well-being. Why not have a plan around it so that you cover all the important bases?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
Because, you hear so much, like I go to different network groups, and you hear people saying and asking questions and saying things that you're like, they really think that? What is wrong? Like, where are they? And you're wondering, where did they come from? Or how come they're so uninformed? Or why haven't they exposed themselves to something bigger? But yet they won't
Mm.
pay to go to the programs that they need to be involved, but they go to the everything else that tickles their ear. And it's
Mm.
really a choice. It's a choice of
Mhm.
truth. You're going to face the truth and own it, or you're not. I mean, like I always talk about in the navigating the new, in the frying pan and the fire. I was the fire and I was the frying pan. The crazy and chaos. I created it. I own it. Okay, and I can tell the story better than anybody else. But now, why not own the company that creates it? Let's do it. Let's package that stuff, make it happen, leverage everything and everything and put it together to use where it's going to serve and help others. And you're really going to feel fulfilled. What I'm finding in working with people all these years is that they're not fulfilled in who they are. So they're always trying to copy somebody else.
Mhm.
And then their confidence sways because every latest and greatest thing that comes out, they think they're supposed to run after, especially now with AI. Everybody's on the AI kick and everyone's running around doing all these things. Uh-uh. Focus. Focus on one thing. You do that one thing well. If you look at the Olympic athletes, they do one thing and they do it well. And they win.
Mhm.
If you bet on yourself, you will win every time as opposed to trying to find out somebody else's form. And I
Mhm.
realized that I had
Mhm.
a health challenge several years ago. And in that process of reflection, I realized that a lot of times when I lost out, it's because I wasn't betting on me and I was listening to other people. How about they don't
Mhm.
mean that anymore? Now,
Mhm.
constructive criticism, feedback, wisdom, wise counsel, absolutely I accept that. But all the other stuff is noise. It's got to go.
Mhm. Mm. I was thinking about when you talk about athletes. I'm not a closet athlete. I actually did play sports, and I remember my senior year of high school. I worked on a baseline move. I played basketball, and I played the post, and I played low
Mhm.
post a lot. And I had this one move that I wanted to make to the baseline for an easy layup. I worked on that move the entire season. I got to do it one time in the tournament game, and I couldn't
Oh,
do it
good.
again with four people on me. But the moral of the story is it really resonated with me what you say. Get something and do it really well. Put the time in to do it well, do it consistently well, and it grows out of who you are. It really is
Exactly.
an expression of your center. Really the core of who you are, not what everybody else, not the trends and everything else. That's
Absolutely. And
fantastic.
thank you. Because that's why I created redefining your leadership in 2026 and beyond. Because the strategic life plan is for where you are now and then where you want to go. And you don't know
Mm-hmm.
what you're going to look like when you get there, but at least you'll have an idea of what to do. If we got a plan to, like an outline till you're 100, if you want to live to 100 or whatever, and we back into that every decade, you got something to do. You don't have time to be wondering what's going on. Even if you got challenging, and you're going through a dark season, you have a little pinhole of hope that you can look through and see, oh, that's where I'm going. Let me go play with that toy for a while to get away from all this other stuff I got to face. And so when we're looking at that, redefining your leadership, the Encore Playbook was the main book I wrote in June. Then my old
Mm-hmm.
clients and new ones, they wanted a journal. So I created the journal, published that in December. Who does two books in 1 year? God is for real. Anyway, I did the journal, and now we're actually going to walk them through the 4-week, 4-part series of every week. We're going to walk through that. And they're actually going to do the journal with me. And in the journal is a real fun exercise where everyone gets an Oscar. So I say to them, you deserve an Oscar for your life performance. So now they get to design it with their own crayons or their pens or whatever, and they get to present their Oscar. And that is something to validate the journey. Your journey
Wow.
made you the beautiful woman that you are. The beautiful individual you are today is your journey. Every scar, every tear, every joy, every happiness, it doesn't matter what happened. Nobody can take away from your journey. Put it this way, you at this stage of my life, in my 67, What are you going to tell me that I haven't lived? And not that I can't learn, but what can you say? I know my reality. Do you know yours? And so we walk through that, and the journal is fun. It's got a lot of fun exercises in it. I have a lot, I created a lot of quotes of my own to give them a structure to be able to either create their own quote or use that one till they get one. And we walk through that thing in 4 weeks. And the nice thing is, it's going to be, we have 2 longer work sessions and 2 short ones. And then in the middle, I meet with everybody to help them come up with their blueprint that they can present at the end. So I'm very excited about this program. This is, I think, the 13th is the last day for the reduced rate at 497, and then it goes back up to 597. But they can find out all that information on my website, paulawashington.com, and it's there. It's on my LinkedIn and things like that. So I'm very excited about this program.
Wow. So, and that's coming up. What is this in the next
Oh,
week or so?
yes, February 21st, 21st, 28th, and March 7th, and March 14th. And I
Wow.
waited till the end of February to do a program to, be away from the holidays and all the noise going on, and say, let's just take these Saturday morning and get together and do something wonderful. And let's make some money. Let's come up with some ideas. Let's meet some new people. Build a community. Enjoy your life in a different way. Get away from everyone else and just do this for you. Give yourself the gift.
Mhm. So, your journey has been one that's been many twists and turns. I would say that it's reflective of many things that a lot of us have in common. I mean, everything is unique, but yet we do have some points of intersection
Yes.
that really, I mean, really can bring a community together. That some of those shared experiences, and I also hear again that very strong message of be taking ownership for one's own well-being and really being systematic about laying that out. And now you have this wonderful program where women can join you and actually lay that plan out.
Yes.
So as we wrap up, there is I still have two questions for you. I'd like to know how this work has really impacted you. Obviously, you have just so much gold in your knowledge, your experience. But just tell us, how has this work really transformed your life? And then we want to know how people can get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, wisdom. I have more wisdom now than I've ever had in my life. Affirmation and realizing that we all are living through, going through, coming through into something new, and freedom. The
Mm,
best thing that I've learned about being me and evolving is the freedom I have in just living every day. It's so exciting
mm,
because now I'm free to be me because I gave myself the pass. I gave
wow.
myself the permission slip, like, all go away. It's me. I'm free to be me. And I'm not afraid of it. I'm not looking for confirmation from this one. I could care less about all of that. If I am given breath every day to wake up and God sees fit to say, Paula, get up and do you, how about I'm going to do me? So people can reach me at paulawashington.com. They can reach me on LinkedIn, on Paula Washington, MBAS on LinkedIn, at I am Paula Washington on Instagram, and on YouTube is Paula, capital P, Paula, capital W, Washington on YouTube. And I can be reached there. And so those are the places you can find me. My email is hello at paulawashington.com. Oh, and
Wow.
my phone number Number is 404-512-3371.
And guess what, folks? We are going to make sure that all those connection points to Paula will be published when she goes live. She will be seen on my channels, which will be LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And then, of course, she's going to be on her channels. But we will have that connection information so that you'll be able to reach out and touch and take advantage of this fantastic energy, insight. And you know what? I spent time with Paula, and she loves not only what she's doing, but she loves seeing success in others. And that is so tremendous to have someone who not only understands what needs to be done, but can teach it and cares enough to support you to realize it. Paula, thank you so much for being with us today. That powerful, I just feel like now I can go and climb the Matterhorn. Everybody see the picture. I can climb the Matterhorn. But thank you for that inspirational sharing. It's great to see you. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today with Verily Biz Solutions. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find Paula there on LinkedIn as well. And folks, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.